Hey Switchheads, Kanan here, and welcome to my review of Dreaming Sarah, a sideways platformer with puzzling elements to it. But just before we get into that, consider joining our Discord, link below, where we do loads of streaming goodness each and every week. And with that, let's check out whether Dreaming Sarah can make it to the top list of the Wall of Fame, or maybe end up in the Wall of Shame, or maybe somewhere in the middle. Gameplay. The story just takes place after you've just had an accident, and it's your job then to try and get her to wake up again by exploring her own dreams. And this entails you platforming through different stages and places within her own psyche, some weird, some normal, and some just plain odd. But this just isn't a platformer on its own. It does have puzzle elements, and you even get an inventory with certain things in your inventory to make you go small, an umbrella so that you can float or glide through the air, which is pretty cool. And there are quite a few different environments that you actually go into, underground, overground, and some just too bizarre to actually explain. There's also a interaction button where as you press it, it interacts with things. A jump and a duck button, and everything works kind of well. Nothing's too floaty or anything. And the controls work quite well. There's also a certain interaction with other characters in the actual game. You'll be fetching them things, as in finding things and giving them things. And this all works quite well, and the actual game is kind of weird in a kind of good weird sort of way. There were some bits in the game that I didn't quite appreciate, and I kind of got stuck a few times as well, and there were bits where you're wandering for a little while, screen after screen after screen, before realising that you have to do something or go in a certain direction. So if that happens to you, don't worry, just try something new, if you know what I mean. And what about those puzzles, I hear you cry? Well, they're pretty cool. Some kind of make you think out of the box, and some way out of the box. While progression can be linked to some of the actual puzzles, i.e. you need to actually do some of them in order to progress in certain areas. I would also point out that it's also very short. Well, when I say very short, 1.5, maybe 2 hours, depending on how good you are at these sort of games. But then again, I'd also mention the fact that it's only a 5er, so that kind of balances that out, I suppose. Graphically, very old-style platformer with kind of a nice modernish type twist to it. I quite like the main character and the way her hair moves as you move along. It's all very basic, but with a kind of, they've taken a bit of effort to draw and to make things look nice and neat and almost up to date-ish in that, like I said, old school type of way. Out of everything in this game, I think the audio suffered the worst out of everything. It's very basic. It doesn't really do anything to really update itself or to make you think, hey, this is actually quite neat. It's almost literally they've done the bare minimum that they had to and then put that out. Luckily enough, the music in the background isn't too offensive, and although you'll probably forget about it now and again, it is okay to listen to as you go along the actual story. The good. Well, this game is actually quite different to a lot of games in the way that it kind of goes into different places, and it's a platformer puzzler with its own unique style. The bad. You do tend to now and again get lost in the actual game and have to rethink what you're doing so that you can come in line with what they thought you should be doing, or at least it kind of felt that way. The audio didn't really do anything for me either. The score. Well, I'm just going to give this a 3 out of 5, and it's an okay 3 out of 5 as long as you like this sort of game. It's a little bit weird, and I can see it not being some people's taste, but if you do like this sort of genre, I would say for the price, go out and pick it up. The alternative. is going to be Claws, a sort of weird kind of platformer, a bit like this one in its strangeness. I don't personally own it, but I have to admit it looks pretty darn good, and I might actually pick this one up just to see what the skizzy is upon it, because it does actually look like an intriguing little platformer type game with plenty of weirdness attached to it. Although if you already own Claws, and you can leave a comment down below, that would be much appreciated, just to let everyone know whether it's worth getting or not. But it does look pretty darn good. And for all other comments about Dreaming Sarah, if you're going to get it, if you're not going to get it, if you don't like it, or you just don't like the style, or even if you do like the style, let us know down below in the comments, because that's where it belongs. Alternatively, you can pop over to our community Discord, where we do many different community streams during the week, and we even do reviews and all, and we like to chat and be friendly as well, because life is better when we switch together.